Arnold Allen versus MELQUIZAEL Costa fight night is upon us, guys. We've made it. We have finally made it to the much anticipated Allen versus Costa main event of UFC Apex Fight Night. We have a stacked card ahead of us, you know. I almost didn't get through to this video. I almost didn't make it. This one was a tough one. You guys ever sit there and just think, man, does Dana White even care about me? Does he even care? Like, come on. Either way, though, I'm here. James Keller MMA. I'm going to give you guys the full card predictions. I can't leave you guys hanging. I know how much you guys use these predictions as your, your betting source. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry this video is a little late. Like I said, it was a struggle to get out there. I was like, man, this is not the best fight night we've gotten. I ranked this fight night honestly a 3 out of 10. I like Arnold Allen versus MELQUIZAEL Costa versus Melky Costa. That's a decent, fight night main event. I'm not even gonna lie, but besides that, I mean, we got Malcolm Willmaker in his return after getting pieced up by Ethan Ewing, but literally, besides that, we got nothing. We got nothing. I guess that they didn't really want to put any stars on this fight night because the Netflix MVP card is also this weekend, which I understand. But I'll remember this, Dana White. Let's break it down though. Let's break down the card, starting with the first fight of the night: Shauna Bannon versus Nicolle Caliari. Now, Shauna Bannon is coming off of that loss. She had that submission loss to Sam Hughes, but before that, she was riding a 2-fight winning streak. Wasn't looking bad. Nicolle Caliari. I'm picking Nicolle Caliari. The reason I'm picking Nicolle Caliari is she's just a little bit more physical, a little bit stronger than Shauna Bannon. I'm not the biggest fan of Shauna Bannon on the feet. I don't think that she's gonna be able to stop the physical pressure of Nicolle Caliari. I think Nicole's gonna be able to get in there and get on the inside, get takedowns, and just impose her game plan. Yeah, I think that Shauna Bannon has just shown in her losses, like that loss to Sam Hughes, that she does have an ability to just get bullied and get controlled. And I think Nicolle Caliari is going to do that to her. Shauna Bannon's a small lady. She's not the strongest. And a lot of these ladies, that's the determining factor in the fights, is if you're going against a girl that's got a little bit of strength and a little bit of muscle mass behind her, like Nicolle Caliari does, I think that she's going to go in there and bully Shauna Bannon. I'm taking Nicolle Caliari by decision. Moving on to our next fight, we got Daniel Barez versus Louis Gurule. Now, originally looking at this fight, I was picking Louis Gurule. I don't know why. Louis Gurule, he is on a 3-fight losing streak. He hasn't looked the best inside the UFC. He's coming off that loss to Alvin Correa where, he kind of just got tagged up for 3 rounds. He wasn't able to get on the inside of Alvin Correa's reach. He wasn't able to get his own combos started. And I see Daniel Barez kind of doing the same thing to Louis Gurule. Louis Gurule in his losses has shown that he is not the quickest on the feet. He seems to be a step behind these guys. I see Daniel Barez just being a step ahead of him, keeping Louis Gurule at the end of his combos, not letting him get on the inside, and just being a little bit quicker than him. Being a little bit quicker, landing the cleaner shots on the feet. I'm taking Daniel Barez by a third round decision, by a unanimous decision. I just don't think that Louis Gurule is able to compete with these guys at bantamweight, at flyweight, excuse me. All right, guys, coming on to our next fight, we got Ardelean versus Polyana Viana. This one's a tricky fight to pick. I was originally leaning the Ardelean way. I'm not the highest fan of Polyana Viana. She is on a 3-fight losing streak, but the competition Polyana Viana has been facing has been a lot tougher than Ardelean. She's been facing competition like Tabitha Ricci. She had that fight with Jillian Robertson, and at least Ardelean has that loss to Shauna Bannon. So I don't know. I think I'm just leaning more towards the Polyana Viana way. This is a tricky one to pick, though. Yes, Polyana Viana has been facing the tougher competition, but in those fights, she's shown her, she has this ability to just lose and lose by not being as active as her opponent, just kind of sitting back and letting the fight play out where she's just kind of pulling more and more away from the win. And I don't want to put any money on Polyana Viana because I don't think that she can go out there and win against at least. I just think that there's a big chance Polyana Viana goes out there and spends a lot of time on her back in this fight, a lot of time on the back foot, a lot of time just maybe getting clinched up against the fence, and at least Ardelean just pulls away with a little bit more activity, just looking like she's doing more in the judge's eyes. That's a big determining factor in these fights. And Polyana Viana, when she's on her back, when she gets taken down, she's shown an ability to stay there and look like she doesn't have any urgency to get back to her feet or look like she's trying to you know get out of those bottom positions. She looks like she's comfortable sitting on her back, and I just can't pick her. I can't pick her. I know she's been facing some tough ladies, but I don't know. I'm taking at least Ardelean by a unanimous decision. That's just my gut feeling. Let's move on. Next fight, Cody Brundage versus Andre Petroski. Another tricky fight. They blessed us. Dana White and the matchmakers, the 4 matchmakers at the UFC, really blessed us with a stacked fight night with some interesting matchups. Cody Brundage, Andre Petroski. Cody Brundage, he's the guy that, they put in there against the new up-and-coming middleweight that he fought. He just coming off that loss to Dante Johnson, which he didn't look bad in that fight, but also Dante Johnson didn't look too good in that fight. So, yeah, and Andre Petroski is the dude who got knocked out by shooting a takedown and headbutting Jacob Malkoun's hip. One of the weirdest knockouts ever. This dude's getting knocked out by ghosts, by the hip of Jacob Malkoun. But I want to take Cody Brundage. Originally, looking at this fight, I was picking Cody Brundage because I thought that he has the physical ability to keep Andre Petroski off of him, keep the grappling advances, keep it on the feet, keep the grappling, to a minimum from Andre Petroski. But also, Cody Brundage is the guy that got out-grappled by Cedric Dumas. Like, come on, guys. I can't pick Cody Brundage. I think that Andre Petroski is going to be able to get in there, get takedowns. Yes, he's kind of a chinny fighter, Andre is, but I don't think Cody Brundage has the power or the striking ability to put him out on the feet. I think Andre is going to kind of have his way with Cody Brundage on the ground. Andre Petroski is a very, very good grappler when he's not headbutting your hip, when he's not shooting on your hips, when he shoots a little bit lower or a little bit higher, just not on the hips. He does do very well in the grappling. And Cody Brundage, shown that he can get out grappled by guys like Cedric Dumas. So I'm taking Andre Petroski. I know Cody Brundage has had a tough run in the UFC. He's faced some killers in Bo Knuckle and Dante Johnson in his last fight. He's faced some tough guys, but I just think that Andre Petroski is going to be a little better than him in the grappling. I think Cody Brundage will be better on the feet, 100%. Cody Brundage has some decent boxing. Doesn't have much power behind those hands, but if he lands clean on Andre Petroski, I can definitely see him landing a knockout shot. Andre Petroski's not got the best chin. I'm not thinking that's gonna happen though. I'm thinking Andre Petroski's gonna be able to go in there, avoid the shots of Cody Brundage on the feet, get a takedown, maybe even find a submission. I'm seeing Cody Brundage avoiding the submissions though, in this fight playing out to a decision, and we're getting an Andre Petroski unanimous decision, maybe a 28-27, maybe a 29-28 decision. But yeah, we'll see. Next fight, another banger. Ketlen Vieira versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Now, Cavalcanti, Excuse me. Cavalcanti is very, very good. Okay, she's very, very underrated, I feel. I think that she's going to go in there and have an easy performance against Ketlen Vieira. I don't see her getting a finish in this fight, but I see it being a dominant performance. Jacqueline Cavalcanti is one of those fighters where she stays busy. She stays busy. She's looks very good in the judge's eyes when she's throwing her strikes. She's a very, very active fighter, and I don't think that Ketlen Vieira will be able to keep up with the activity. Ketlen Vieira has shown in her losses she is 15-5. Jacqueline Cavalcanti is 10-1. Ketlen Vieira has shown that she can just get outworked. And that's the game of Jacqueline Cavalcanti. She's a worker. She's a workhorse. She's a grinder. You know, she'll throw a bunch of strikes. She'll look for takedowns. She'll get takedowns. And I think that Ketlen Vieira just won't be able to keep up. I think that she'll be behind from the first round. And I think this will be a easy, dominant performance for Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I don't think that she'll be able to get a finish, but I see it being a dominant 30-27 performance. Good fight, though. I'm excited. All right, guys, coming on to the next one. We got Tommy Gantt versus Artur Minev. Now, this is Tommy Gantt's debut. Artur Minev is stepping in there on short notice. Both these guys are undefeated, so, someone's O's got to go. But Artur Minev, the story behind him is he's just not on the level of Tommy Gantt. I think that Tommy Gantt's going to go in there, look for a early, quick finish against Artur Minev. Yeah, Tommy Gantt's got that wrestling background, got great takedowns, great submission game, and also has some power and good striking. I'm taking Tommy Gantt. I'm taking him by early finish, maybe second round finish. The first round, feeling out Artur Minev, and then second round, finding that takedown, maybe finding a submission, or finding the big shot on the feet. I'm taking Tommy Gantt by second round submission. That's the way I'm feeling. Yeah, we'll see, though. Good debut. Sucks for Artur Minev to take this fight on short notice. But yeah, coming on to the feature fight on the prelims, the last fight on the prelims, we got Tukkos versus Ivan Erslan. Now, Tuco, is it Turco? Tukkos. Tukkos. How the fuck do you say this guy's name, bro? Alright, guys, moving on to our next fight. We got Tukkos versus Ivan Erslan. Now, Tuco, he's coming off that submission win over Junior Tafa where he had to use his grappling, and he didn't look bad. He was kind of struggling on the feet, though, with Junior Tafa. And then he used his grappling to take him down, find that second round submission. Ivan Erslan is 0-3 in the UFC. He's coming off of that submission loss to Jimmy Crute. That was all the way back in September of 2025. But I just think that Ivan Erslan is not on that level. I don't think he's on that level to compete in the UFC. I think that Tuco is going to show him levels in this fight. With that being with the grappling or with the striking, I think that he's going to be able to control this fight wherever it goes. I see Tuco getting a takedown, finding that submission, maybe getting a takedown and ground and pounding Ivan Erslan. But yeah, Ivan Erslan, he's just shown that he's not the best. He's not the best. He can't compete with the light heavyweights in the UFC. Both these guys fought what's his name? Navajo Sterling. That's kind of my litmus test for this fight because, Tuco had a little bit more success in that fight against Navajo. And Ivan, has looked bad in his last 3 UFC fights. I know that Navajo is a rising contender in the light heavyweight division, and Jimmy Crute is seasoned veteran, but still, I think that Tuco is going to show a little bit of levels in this fight, and show that he's on a better level than Ivan Erslan. I see Tukkos getting a takedown, finding a submission, taking it by round 1 submission, just because I'm feeling frisky, you know what I'm saying? All right, guys, moving on to our next fight. We got Nikolay Veretennikov versus Khaos Williams. And Nikolay is coming off of that knockout win against Nico Price, which it was a good knockout win, but also it's Nico Price. And, Khaos Williams, he's, I'm a fan of Khaos Williams. I don't think that he's that bad. He's shown a weakness in his grappling game. He's shown a struggle with his takedown defense. And, in his fight against Gabriel Bonfim, he was able to get taken down in that fight. He was able to get controlled. You know, in the fence, he was able to, you know, Gabriel was showing weaknesses in his grappling. He's got shown weaknesses in the grappling before that fight too. And Nikolay Veretennikov, if he goes in there and secures an easy early takedown, I could see him coasting by and winning a decision. But I think that Khaos Williams will go in there and defend the takedowns, defend the shots of Nikolay, and keep this fight on the feet. Keep this fight on the feet, tag him. You know, Khaos Williams has some big power. Big power. We all know Khaos Williams got some crazy knockout power. And if he can keep this fight on the feet, I see it being an easy fight for Khaos. But if Nikolay is able to get those takedowns, if he's able to control Khaos on the fence, it's going to be an easy win for him. This is kind of a tricky fight. I think the reason I'm banking on Khaos Williams, I see him improving since those losses. I see him improving, and knowing that in this fight, you know what, I'm gonna be threatened by the takedowns. I'm gonna be put on my back. I might be put on the fence, and that's the positions I'm gonna be trying to work out of. And I hope that's what he did. And if he's able to keep himself out of those positions, keep himself off his back, keep himself not, you know, controlled for too much of the rounds, too many minutes in the round, I think that he's going to be able to win this fight. Tag up Nikolay Veretennikov on the feet and win a unanimous decision. I don't know if he's going to finish this fight. Maybe he'll get a crazy knockout, but I think it's going to go to a decision. I'm taking Khaos Williams by decision. It's kind of a tricky pick. You know, I'm not too confident in that pick. Picking the striker over the grappler, but still, I'm taking him. All right, guys, moving on to the next fight. We got Benardo Sopaj versus Timothy Cuamba. Now, Benardo Sopaj is that guy that got, you know, flying knee knocked out by Vicentius Oliveira, which was a bad knockout. That was a bad knockout. That was Bernardo's UFC debut. He wasn't looking bad in that fight. He had some moments in that fight, but then, yeah, he kind of lost all of his gas tank and was looking bad, and then Vicentius Oliveira made him pay for it and caught him with one of the most brutal knockouts we've ever seen. But before that, Bernardo was kind of on this run. You know, he was looked at as this up-and-comer in the bantamweight division, and then he suffered that bad knockout loss, which it happens. After that, he had that bounce-back win against Ricky Turcios, which it's a good bounce-back win. And in this fight against Timothy Cuamba, I see him winning, you know. I think that the skill level is still there for Benardo Sopaj. He might be a little bit more hesitant on the feet. I'm going to take Benardo Sopaj, though. I think that Benardo Sopaj is going to be a little bit cleaner on the feet. He still has that skill level there. He might be a little bit more hesitant when it comes to the striking exchanges, but honestly, I think that Benardo Sopaj is going to win this fight and win it easily. Timothy Cuamba is not bad. He's shown that he's a decent contender in the bantamweight division, but I don't think that he's on the level of Benardo Sopaj. Bernardo's pretty decent, you know. And before that fight, where he got flying knee knocked out, he was looking good, man. He was looking good. This dude has 10 finishes on his record. He is only, 12-3, I think? Yeah, he's 12-3, so this dude's decent. I think that Benardo Sopaj is going to go in there and get an easy win against Timothy Cuamba. I'm taking Benardo Sopaj by round 1 finish. All right, guys, moving on to our next fight. We got Modestas Bukauskas versus Christian Edwards. Short notice, he's stepping in there. And this is kind of a bad matchup for our boy. Christian Edwards is 8-4. Not the best. This is his UFC debut in Modestas Bukauskas. Yeah, he's shown some weaknesses inside the light heavyweight division, but against a guy that's not even in the UFC yet, I see him having a great performance. Modestas Bukauskas was supposed to fight Rodolfo Bellato. Now Christian Edwards is stepping in there. And Modestas is coming off of that loss to Nikita Krylov, but before that, he was riding a 4-5 winning streak. And Modestas Bukauskas, I don't feel like there's much shame in losing to Nikita Krylov. I think Nikita Krylov is one of the more underrated fighters in the light heavyweight division. And I think that Modestas Bukauskas is going to have a great night against Christian Edwards, finding the early, easy finish, just showing levels. Like, there is levels to this game, and Christian Edwards has never fought inside the UFC, taking this fight on short notice. It's a bad matchup. I think it's a bad matchup. I think Modestas is one of the more well-rounded light heavyweight fighters. And I see him tagging up Christian Edwards, finding that early knockout shot in the first round. Yeah, and if he doesn't find that first round knockout shot, I just see this fight, as the fight builds on, Christian Edwards will just fade and fade more. He hasn't had a full training camp. Modestas Bukauskas has known he's going to fight on this date for a while. And I think that Christian Edwards is just going to fall to the pressure and the power of Modestas Bukauskas. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm taking Modestas by round 1 knockout. Let's go. All right, guys, moving on to our next fight, the feature fight. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. Now, Juan Diaz is not terrible. He's not a bad guy, you know. He's not a bad fighter. I'm picking Malcolm Wellmaker, though. Malcolm Wellmaker is coming off of that loss to Ethan Ewing, where a lot of people hopped off the Malcolm Wellmaker hype train after that fight. But that was his first loss in MMA. And I think taking a fight like Ethan Ewing on short notice, I know Ethan Ewing also took that fight on short notice. He was probably working. But I think that Ethan Ewing was ready, man. Ethan Ewing came in there and just put on a masterclass against Malcolm Wellmaker. And Ethan Ewing's arguably going to be a top 5 bantamweight sometime soon. I think that Ethan Ewing has proven against the last, he's fought 2 undefeated guys in the UFC and just shut them both out with ease. So I think that Ethan Ewing's proven that he's going to be one of the dark horses of the bantamweight division. He's going to be at the top of the division soon. So I don't think that I think that loss is going to age very, very well in the column of in the L column of Malcolm Wellmaker. And Juan Diaz, you know, he's decent. He's not the worst. He's riding an 8-fight win streak. This will be his debut in the UFC. You know, he had that war on the Contender Series where he fought that one dude and hit him with the nastiest spinning elbow. Boom, spinning elbow. You know, but I just think this is going to be a tough debut for our boy Juan Diaz. Malcolm Wellmaker, yeah, he got shown levels against Ethan Ewing, but I think that Ethan Ewing's on another level. I think that Malcolm Wellmaker will go in there and be able to find the big knockout shots that he's always looking to land, the big hooks. Juan Diaz, I think, will walk into something big. The only reason Ethan Ewing was able to have as much success as he did against Malcolm Wellmaker is because of the boxing IQ. You know, he knew that he couldn't get outside of the range of Malcolm Wellmaker, so he was always in there throwing shots. And I don't think that Juan Diaz will be able to keep up that pace, keep up that pressure. I think that he'll be out on the outside of the range and then try to come in and get caught by a big old Malcolm Wellmaker left hook. I'm taking Malcolm Wellmaker by round 2 finish. I think that this will be a comeback performance for our boy. And he'll prove that, you know, he's still there. He's still there. He's still got it. Just because he lost one time doesn't mean you got to hop off the Malcolm Wellmaker hype train. You know, MMA fans are so crazy, though. Literally, if you lose one fight, nobody fucks with you. And then if you win a fight, they're like, oh, yeah, we love you since you started fighting. It's like, come on, bro. All right, coming on to our co-main event. Fire co-main event. Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Santos. Yeah, Daniel Santos, you know, he's fighting out of the Shoot the Box kickboxing gym with our boy Charles Oliveira. Kind of got that Charles Oliveira style where he'll go in there and he's kind of shown that he can get hit. He can get hit and absorb shots. You know, he's never been knocked out though. You know, and Doo Ho Choi, coming back on his second run in the UFC, he's kind of had some of the easier matchups, in my opinion, you know. Nate Landwehr, Kyle Nelson. And yeah, I think that Daniel Santos is a little bit of a step up compared to those two guys. Daniel Santos has power in his hands. He has some good jiu-jitsu. He has a decent jiu-jitsu background. And Doo Ho Choi has power in his hands. He has speed. You know, he's known for his boxing hands. I don't think that Doo Ho Choi will be able to land on Daniel Santos, though. I think that if this fight gets dragged into a scrap where they're both just exchanging in the pocket, I think Daniel Santos will have the more power and will be able to put down Doo Ho Choi. Doo Ho Choi is 35 years old, kind of older in his MMA career. Daniel Santos is the younger fighter. I think he has more power. I think that he'll be able to take more shots compared to Doo Ho Choi, and I see Daniel Santos winning this fight. If it hits the ground, I think Daniel Santos is the much more experienced grappler, much more dangerous grappler. Duho Choi does not want any business on the ground with our boy Daniel Santos. And on the feet, you know, Duho Choi is clean, but I see Daniel getting on him. I see him getting on him. I see him finding the big old blows that he's looking for. Pause. But yeah, I see Daniel Santos winning this fight. I'm taking Daniel Santos by round 2 finish. I think that Duho Choi will get pulled into a scrap. He'll get pulled into a firefight. And by the second round, Daniel Santos will find that finish. Coming on to our main event. Arnold Allen versus MELQUIZAEL Costa. Now, honestly, looking at this fight when it first got booked, I was leaning Melky Costa. I was like, you know what? Melky Costa just got that spinning back kick knockout. And he's hot, man. He's hot. He's a contender in this division. A lot of people are thinking that, and, you know, he's good. He's got knockout power. I'm picking Arnold Allen, though. I'm picking Arnold Allen. I think Arnold Allen's going to win this fight. And when it comes to looking at it stylistically, honestly, there's not much Arnold Allen does better than MELQUIZAEL Costa. MELQUIZAEL Costa is a lot more dangerous wherever this fight goes. On the feet, in the grappling. Melky Costa has a underrated jiu-jitsu game, and on the feet, he's shown that he's one of the probably the best kicker in the featherweight division. He has that head kick knockout, and then coming off of that Dan Ige spinning back kick knockout. But this dude's got some powerful kicks. And usually in a fight, you want to pick the more dangerous fighter. Arnold Allen hasn't shown much ability to be able to finish fights. He doesn't have much power in his hands. Doesn't have much of a submission offense of his own. But with that being said, I'm picking Arnold Allen. Okay, I think that Arnold Allen is just way more well-rounded compared to Melky Costa. Arnold Allen went 5 rounds with our boy Max Holloway. People forget about that. Yeah, he got dropped at the end of the round, but still he had a good 5-round fight with Max Holloway. I think that Arnold Allen can go in there and just... He has never been finished inside the UFC. He's never been knocked... I mean, he's been knocked down, but he's never been... looked like he was going to get knocked out inside the UFC. I don't think MELQUIZAEL Costa is going to be the first one to do it. Arnold Allen went 3 hard rounds with Gene Silva, and in that fight, you know, Arnold Allen was having success. The only problem was the power. And I don't think that Costa will be able to land the shots that Gene Silva was landing. I see as this fight goes, I see Melky Costa winning the first round, winning the second round, but as this fight goes on, Arnold Allen builds into it, and Melky Costa fades away. Melky Costa has never been 5 rounds. Arnold Allen has. And I think that this is either a do or die finisher or bust fight for Melky Costa. Maybe the damage he instills in the first 2 rounds, in the first 3 rounds, will be too much for Arnold Allen to get started, but I don't know. I think Arnold Allen is defensively sound enough to avoid any big knockout kicks of MELQUIZAEL Costa. I don't think he's going to be ducking into any spinning kicks. And I think Arnold Allen will be able to easily pick apart MELQUIZAEL Costa for at least 3 rounds as Melky gets tired. As I'm saying this, I don't know why, I'm getting a nervous feeling for Arnold Allen. I'm a big fan of Arnold Allen. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's a sweet guy. I think this is a tough matchup for him. But when I think about it, I think that Arnold Allen's also a tough matchup for our boy Melky Costa. Melky Costa's never been 5. He has shown that he's kind of had an ability to slow down in those later rounds. And I think that against Arnold Allen, a fighter who's never been finished, a fighter who's never been knocked out, I think that he'll struggle. And once it comes to those later rounds, I see Arnold Allen just kind of picking up his game and easily winning the last 2 rounds. We'll see if he can win the third or maybe the second, but that's how I see this fight going. I'm taking Arnold Allen by unanimous decision. Hammer it. Either way, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed my prediction video. Sorry it's very, very late. I apologize. I'm sorry if you guys watched the last episode of the interviews I did with Joe Martinez and the mic sounds so terrible. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna... I'm sorry. But I'm getting this video out to you now. I hope you enjoyed the prediction video. Let me know who you got. Arnold or MELQUIZAEL Costa. Yeah. Let me know. I hope you guys enjoy my prediction video. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.